chrome shine. Engines roar, it's our time. From Miami streets to worldwide views. Welcome to India's world.
Hey guys, so story time. This lady cut me off in traffic and I ended up trying to dodge it. Ended up scraping the whole right side of my car. What a nightmare. My car had a bunch of things already, so I just got the bodywork done.
Okay, so let's start by the driver fender. Driver fender, we have a dent right here. The big dent that we had seen. There's another little one over here. Okay, now we're going to the driver door. We have a scuff right here, a dent. Then we have that scratch. Then we have the big one over here that it's like 1, 2, 3, 4 little dents. So now let's go to the quarter. We have the dent right here from the door. We have a little dent right here, 2 little dents. And then we have the big one right here from the door that you showed me. Now let's go to the passenger side. We have this big dent from the hit, the door. And then right here on the fender, you have another little dent right here coming from the scratch, the original scratch from the whole thing. And then you have a dent right here. And then you have a dent on the hood right here. And then you have the one on the roof. Oh, which is that one. That one. Another little one right here that I just seen. And then this one right here. So in total is 8 panels. It would be 1, 2, 3. The hood is 4. The fender is 5. The door is 6. The quarter panel is 7. And the roof would be 8 in total.
On the floss that goes on. Energy drink. Okay, so these are the supplies to remove the emblem. This is really like the main ingredient right here. The Celsius. That's what I need to get this done. I love it. I love it. First I'm gonna heat it up a little bit. And you don't want to keep it in one spot for too long because you could burn it's like a clear coat on the emblem. Once it's nice and hot. Then we're going to take our floss. We'll see. Take our floss and get behind the emblem and do like a sawing motion. Just a couple seconds, nothing too crazy. Ugh, I hate that noise. Long enough floss because if not, it's gonna hurt your fingers. Okay, this is much better. People said they use fishing line, but I feel like the fishing line will hurt your fingers more. And this is a cheap floss. This is a 50-cent floss. I feel like my fingers are so weak. You could heat it up and like roll it in your fingers a little bit. And let's see how much I could get off. I could just get off by hand. See, it just comes off. The trick is heating it up. Okay, so this is what it looks like after we heated up and scraped it. This is the back of the emblem, so all that foam, all that sticky stuff was on there. So now we're gonna use some glue gun to remove some of the adhesive. Just allow a few minutes, wipe with a clean white cloth, clean area with soap and water. Okay, so we're gonna clean it afterwards with alcohol. So we gotta let it sit for a couple minutes. So I removed the emblem first because I was going to hit this little area with some primer. I guess they got sanding happy and it was like exposed metal. So I did put primer, let it dry for a few minutes and hit it with a second coat, and then wet sanded and then cleaned it with some alcohol again. I was debating if I should keep the stock emblem or get a custom one. So let me know what you guys think. But yeah, I'm just letting the glue gun sit for a little bit before I go to scraping the rest off. I'll show you how it looks after. I'm gonna hit it with primer here, and we're gonna give it a little bit of time to dry before we sand it down again and hit it with some alcohol. Let it sit for a couple minutes and then hit it with a second layer. And you want to keep it at least 10 to 12 inches away, and don't do any hard sprays or you'll get lines. And then you want to wet sand. If you're going to dry sand, you have to wait hours. So make sure you wet sand. Okay, so now it's dry. Wet sand is wet. And you want to kind of just wet sand it, but not too hard. You want a smooth surface. You don't want anything porous, or it's going to cause issues with the wrap. It'll cause like a chemical reaction, so make sure you have it smooth. Okay guys, once you're done sanding, make sure you clean everything 2 or 3 times, if you will, with alcohol, and just make sure you have a nice smooth surface. This is going to remove any oils, and then you're ready to wrap. Oh, it wasn't even recording. So the wrap I'm going to use, guys, is KPMF from metrorestyling.com. It came pretty quickly, within about a week. It does have Aries channels, so it's very beginner friendly. I think the lifespan of this is like 10 to 12 or 10 to 15 years if done correctly, so it's a little longer than other brands. The color, I think it's gloss desert sand, if I'm not mistaken. It looks a little different on camera, but guys, this vision. I'm gonna go ahead and get like graphics in a certain color. You guys are gonna see it. You're gonna love it. I really wanted the satin wrap, but gloss is a little harder to hide imperfections, and the satin just kind of blends everything better. But gloss is what they had in stock. So I really needed to get this done as soon as possible. I hate seeing my car just like not done. So I just went ahead and got the gloss. No complaints because it turned out beautifully. So here I am. You always want to heat up the edges of the panels so that the wrap can pretty much, I guess, form into its original shape and just hug the edges of the panels a little better. I know I look crazy, my hair's messed up, but whatever. So when you're stretching, just make sure you stretch in a triangular form, and that's gonna help you get all of the wrinkles out. The air channel releases on this like wrap is excellent. Any wrinkles, any bubbles, just by heating it up and just kind of smoothing it out, they're gone instantly. I would say that this wrap is very, very sticky. That's the only downside, but besides that, for me being a beginner, like, this was very easy to work with compared to other brands. So this is the triangular pull I was talking about. You always want to pull in a triangular motion and just kind of just lift and pull and tug, but not too hard. I barely had to use heat with this wrap, which I loved very much because the heat will mess with the integrity of the wrap. So I found that very, very pleasing, because other wraps, I've worked with 3M and other wraps with my bikes and stuff, and I did have to use a lot of heat. But with this brand, I did not have to use much heat at all, only on the edges pretty much, and small little air bubbles. Once I heated up, like, they went away. Another thing with this wheel well, you'll see me later just cutting slits into it. That's gonna help you kind of just hug that circular shape. So that is a tip that I'm gonna give you guys. Besides that, I have a little kit that I'll put a link below. It's a wrap kit I got on Amazon, and I don't know if you could see that red tool on the hood. That if you tuck it into the edges, it kind of just tucks the wrap into the back of the edges of the panels. So that prevents it from lifting and things like that, especially in the wheel well where things can get a little dirty, and I don't know, it just really helped out a lot. So I recommend that kit. 10 out of 10. I loved all the little tools that it has. And this glove, whenever you're smoothing things out, definitely use your glove, because it just helps your hand just glide through everything. Other than that, I would say work in a non-humid area, especially if you're in South Florida. You want to try to do this indoors, especially if it's at night or getting into like the nighttime hours, because the humidity will mess up your wrap's adhesive. Again, 10 out of 10. I would recommend this brand to pretty much anybody that's starting out. If you're a little more experienced, you may prefer other brands, but even professionals like this brand. I don't know, just let me know what you guys think. So here I am cutting those slits I was talking about. I learned this from tattooing. Whenever I go to put a stencil on and it's like a aki body part that has a lot of curves, I also do the same method. The slits just kind of help the paper, or in this case the wrap, just like cling onto those awkward shapes, like the wheel well in this case. Some of the adhesive was sticking to itself, and that's what I mean about this wrap. It's very sticky, but it lasts. So if you have to lift it or unstick it, like, it has enough adhesive to where you could reuse it and replace it or move it or whatever it is that you got to do, and it's not going to, the adhesive is not going to ball up under the wrap, which you might see with other brands. So because this is an awkward shape, and it is an edge, these are the places where I had to use heat. Nothing too crazy, so this was very pleasant to work with. It didn't come out in the recording, but at the bottom of this panel, at the very, very bottom, there's a little piece that I unscrewed, that I ended up screwing back on when I was done with the wrap. And that actually is going to help everything just stay in place. I don't believe that this wrap is going to lift at all, because I did tuck it in all the way, and then I used that little red tool that you see there, and that just kind of hugs the inside of the edge. So the wrap is literally just like stuck, like on the inside, under where you can't see, just like tucked in all the way, like literally. So there's absolutely no way that this is gonna lift as long as you use that tool. Don't be lazy, don't cut corners, because that's just gonna make sure that this wrap lasts. And this wrap is supposed to last, I think it's 10 to 12 years or 10 to 15 years, something ridiculous like that. So don't cut corners. So guys, how this happened, I'm gonna tell you a little bit about the accident. Some lady cut me off and I tried to swerve it and it just ended up scraping the whole side of my car on the other side. The reason why I did so much body work is because of parking in parking lots and people hitting me with their doors in parking lots. And somebody actually keyed my car on the door on this side. Oh, and then the dent on top of the roof, that was because of I was in the airport and I was leaving the airport, and the little gate, it has like a little stick that goes up and down, like when you pay to get out of the parking lot in the airport. And that little bar just like fell down and hit my roof. So I had a dent on the roof. And then there was like a hailstorm one time, and there was hail falling, which is like pieces of ice. And those little ice balls ended up leaving a couple more dents everywhere. And I've had this car since it was like 6 miles on the dash. So I've had this car, it was a baby, it was born with me. So all the little dents, like I have stories for each one. And I just figured if I'm gonna fix one side of the car, I might as well just fix everything. So that's what we're doing. And I wanted to paint it, but actually I wanted to change the color. So I just took this opportunity to wrap it, because knowing me, I'll get tired of the color in a couple of years. Hopefully not, but with wrapping it, I could always just remove it and change the wrap or change the color of the decal or whatever. So that's what brought us here today. So what I'm gonna do is wrap it this color, and I can't wait for you guys to see the color of the graphic that I'm gonna put on the side. I'm gonna put like a big B, and I just can't wait for you guys to see it. I'm super excited. At the end, this wrap came out much better than what I thought it was gonna be. I was a little disappointed that I couldn't get the satin. This is one of the new colors from this brand, but the gloss actually came out pretty good. You'll see. Wait till the end of the video. Wanted you guys' opinions. I was wondering if I should leave the hood black, or like they have like this carbon fiber wrap, but I feel like that's cheating. But I don't know if I should leave the hood black. I'm leaning towards just wrapping the whole car one color. And I don't know, I was just gonna do the easy panels first and see how that goes. And depending on how much wrap I have left over, make my decision and see if I should wrap the hood as well. But so far so good. The panel that, or the piece that I cut out for the wrap to wrap this panel, that's the piece that I used. Like I didn't make any mistakes horrible enough to where I had to use extra wrap or anything like that. So far so good. No wrap has gone to waste. So we'll see how it turns out. I'm gonna fast forward this part a little bit and then just get to the end so you guys could see the results. My phone ended up dying. This was an hour-and-a-half video. It took me an hour and a half to wrap this panel, but I cut it down to 20 minutes, so thank me later. You guys, look at how this turned out. Overall, it took me an hour and a half. It took longer to prep everything than it did to actually wrap the car. Well, no, it took about an hour to prep everything. But if your car doesn't have any body work or need any like primer or anything like that, it should be much quicker. You're just gonna pretty much wipe it down with alcohol and hit it with a clay bar, and then you're ready to wrap. But I was gonna do the easy panels first. I think next I'm gonna do the trunk, the other side of the car on the same panel. Then I'm gonna move to the roof, hood bumpers, and then I'm going to leave the doors for last because the mirrors are attached to the doors on this car. So I'm gonna have to remove the door panel and then the mirror and then just get a clean wrap. I don't know if I should leave the door handles black. Let me know what you guys think. Anyways, like, comment, subscribe, hit the little bell so you can get notifications whenever I drop my next video. I do want to thank you guys for watching so much. This is a new channel for me. I haven't been posting in a while, so I'm just trying to get my subscribers up. Again, thanks for watching. I love you guys. Thank you so much for the support, and stay tuned so you can watch the end of this project. Bye.
From the garage to the coastline, we're building memories, not glory. In the ass, keep moving forward.